Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review for a live news show this morning. My name is Paul, and I'm joined by, of course, Billy Bob. We are, got some news to go through. A transfer confirmation at last. And, of course, what we really want to talk about is the press conference this morning that happened between, with Bruno and Eddie Howe, of course. So some interesting talking points to come out of that. But as usual, guys, if you do enjoy the show, give it the thumbs up. Very important to the channel, of course, that we keep those coming in. And if you're new and you like what you see, please do subscribe. Free to do so. Come and be part of an incredible community here on the Toon Review by hitting the subscribe button. Free to do so. But don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show. You can support the channel in two ways. One, by becoming a member. Hit that join button just underneath the two of us. And, of course, super chats are available by hitting the $ at the bottom of the live comments. And that will guarantee your comment to be read out live on the show. Jimmy Barr has started the show off gifting 5 Toon Review memberships. Thank you so much for that, Jimmy. So if you are a recipient of one of those, please do say thank you to Jimmy. Good morning, Billy.
Good morning, and good morning to all out there in Viewerland.
So we have a transfer confirmation, Billy, at last. And, of course, a lot of the fans were wondering where this was going because, of course, Osula came in for a transfer, came in for a medical, and then it went all quiet again, which it tends to do so with Newcastle United because what they like to do is they like to get all the interviews and videos of the new player out the way, done and dusted, so that they can just announce him and everything's ready to go. So, of course, he has been announced this morning. There he is sitting in his new shirt. Now, Eddie did say that he first got a glimpse of him when Jason Tyndall was at Sheffield United, and they've been following him for around 3 years. So it's not a flash in the pan, this one. Obviously, Eddie's seen something he really likes in Osula, despite his goal-scoring record, and thinks that he can become very successful at the club.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because we all thought it was a Paul Mitchell signing, but clearly not.
Yep.
So on Eddie Howe's head be this one. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then maybe there'll be questions asked. But for that price, it's hardly a gamble for me. He's got lots and lots of potential to make himself into a superb player for Newcastle United. I think we should call him after another Geordie hero, Oz. I think Oz is a good nickname for him.
Oz. Well, maybe that is his nickname. I mean, we'll find out in due course. Ollie, who's been a member for 15 months now. Thank you, Ollie. Missed the morning shows. Good morning, Paul and Billy, you legends. Thank you very much. Mark the Celt, thank you for your super sticker. Much appreciated, my friend. Yeah, some mornings we will go live, or if there's no news in the morning, then or nothing to generate a live show, then obviously we'll do a video in the afternoon, like a recorded one. So, it's just a case of what there is to give you. It's pointless going live every morning if there's no news there. But there's definitely talking points this morning, of course, because of the signing of Osula and, of course, the press conference. Now, Osula came across very well in his interview, Bill. He spoke very maturely, and he's clearly come with with that hunger inside him. He's clearly hungry to do well. He's clearly hungry to win, and he's clearly hungry to do well for Eddie.
Well, start out in the chat.
I've seen it. Watch this cheeky little live show while I'm at work. What have I missed? I saw Bruno's comments and Osula's official announcement. Yet time to watch the interview. It's great stuff. Jimmy Barr, you've been a member for 8 months. Thank you, Jimmy. Morning. Evening here. Paul and Billy, hope you're well, lads. We are very well.
Back to us.
Yeah,
very mature, very hungry, ambitious, ready to learn all the things you want from a young striker who's clearly not nowhere near his full potential yet. He's still very raw, but will be not only part of the squad this year, we'll get lots of minutes, I think. We need to get him kind of acclimatised to Newcastle United's way of thinking and way of fitness stuff. So he will get minutes. There's no doubt about that, especially with the injury record of the two in front of him. But a third choice striker, something we've needed for a long time. To me, it's a great signing.
Kyle says a low risk signing, lowering the risk of Isak and Wilson tagging each other in and out of the injury room over the season. I love this one. I think as time's gone on, I mean, when this was first announced, Billy, there was clearly a bit of confusion amongst the Newcastle fans, a little bit of disarray. Why are we signing him? Is he quality enough to be part of Newcastle United? It was always clear that he was going to come in as third choice if Wilson does end up staying, of course. But I think that the fans have sort of warmed to this transfer as time's gone on.
Yeah, 100%, because they can see what it is. I mean, some fans, especially ones that have joined since the takeover, may have been expecting, I don't know, someone of a massive kind of, profile. But I mean, this is just a series we've gone on for 5, 6, 7 years time, even. Alexander, he's one of those strikers in the world with a huge profile, who's one of the elite strikers for me. And we need someone to support him. So yeah, looking forward to seeing Oz in action. Let's see what he can do. He's got power, pace, just to hone them.
It is just fine honing the skills, isn't it? And Eddie's the perfect man to do that, of course.
Basically,
PD Proudlock, good morning to you, buddy. I'm giving the lad a chance, and surely he'll play either tomorrow or Saturday. Yeah, I'm imagining he will. We'll cover that a little bit more on tonight's show when we cover the Cellar Cup preview. Now, the people are asking about the stack. Baz says, come on, Paul, you hated the site. Baz, why do you do this? You keep calling people out all the time. Yes, I didn't like the signing when it first came around, but I've just explained, like a lot of Newcastle United fans, I've come round to it, and I agree with the sign. I think the kid's got a future. The more I've looked into him, the more I've heard from Eddie, the more I've heard from media. I'm agreeing with the transfer. I mean, just because I didn't agree with it at first, it doesn't mean that I can't come round to it like a lot of fans have. Let's try and be positive.
Well, because you remember the time, Baz, when we first kind of saying we were going to sign him, we all thought Wilson was maybe out the door at some point, and as a second choice striker,
exactly,
maybe it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's different now. Happy to be in the squad, happy to play his part, and I'm sure we'll take his chance, as Wilson is guaranteed to be injured. Yeah, he will get his chance.
Well, he already is.
Yeah. Ross says, good news to wake up to. Glad he signed. Only just turned 21, but he can learn from Isak and Wilson. How will develop and evolve his game. Not a great record, but the goals he has scored are decent. But we have to remember the team he's played for.
That's true, but that's a really good point, because he's got two strikers of different kind of profiles. If you can take a little bit from both, then he's going to be a fantastic striker, isn't he? Wilson's finishing ability and Fox in the box stuff, Isak's skill and his finishing ability also. Wilson's nous and physicality, Isak's pace, skills, and all-round finishing from both of them. So to learn off them two, I think between the two of them, you're going to come out with a good striker, ain't you?
Yeah. Now there is people asking about the stack, and I believe, well, some people have said it opens at 12. I believe it opened at 10 because I've seen people already inside the stack having a look around. It looks lovely. It looks fantastic. There is rumours going around that the Newcastle fans will only be allowed in on match days, which I find very strange because it was billed as a match or fan zone. So I don't necessarily think that's true, but we'll find out again in due course. But it is open. It looks really nice. I was going to go through there this morning, but then there's about 25 people took the cameras with them, and I thought, well, what is the point really of going when everybody can see it anyway? It'd be nice to see it, but I'll see it in due course. David says, I think Osula will be good for us. Be good even if bringing him on at 70 minutes when a game is in the balance will allow Isak or Wilson to give 100% for 70 minutes instead of reserving for the 90. Which Isak had to do a lot last season, let's be fair.
He did, yeah. And then even so, he was still knackered in the last 10, 15 minutes, wasn't he?
Absolutely,
we saw at Paris Saint-Germain, for instance. I mean, he couldn't even limp. He was that knackered.
Yeah. Gary Hannant, who's been a member now for an incredible 28 months. Thank you for your support, Gary. There's an old saying when it comes to players we're not sure of, never judge a book by its cover. And for new people, click the like and subscribe. And respect to the chat. Thank you, Gary. Yeah, so I'm excited about it now. I think I've Trevor thinks Baz finds me sexy when I'm angry. Baz has been with us a while. He's all right. Listen, I mean, it's a good way to start the day. The gear he won is, well, I don't know where we stand on that, Billy. Hopefully Newcastle United are doing what they normally do, and they're working on it in the background, and then all of a sudden, bang, we'll see him come in for a medical.
Yeah, I mean, he was asked about it, wasn't he, at the press conference by Keith Downey, and he kind of just said,
"Yeah,
I know nothing, Keith." It was his usual.
Well, yeah, which means that he could be in the next room doing an interview, but that's what happened in America, of course. Peter says, "I've got the feeling our away kit may get released tomorrow, and the players will wear it in one of the games." I don't know, Pete, to be honest. I mean, it's been very quiet on the away strip.
There's been a bit of a fanfare, I would have thought, saying when the away strip will be released. I don't think it'll be released until the season starts.
Indeed. Harry says a lot of fans were in the same mind as Paul to begin with, but are allowed to change their mind over time. Plus, let's judge what the lad does in a black and white shirt over time. Is it true, Paul? Newcastle fans only match day? I don't know. I'll need to confirm that. I'm astounded if that's
no away fans. Yeah.
Baz says, but I agree. I have changed. I am very hopeful. Cheers, bro. No problem, Baz. See, we all can change. We all can change opinions. Of course we can. Morning, lads. The problem with trying to build a deep squad is if you bring in big names on high wages, they won't accept sitting on the bench and waiting the turn. Well, you have to manage that. Pep does it very, very well. Pep somehow keeps everybody happy, and we know that the Manchester City squad, he's got a world-class squad there, and some players, he puts on the bench, and they respect his decision at the end of the day. I think it's a little bit of, it's a completely different story at Chelsea. They've got literally 60 players to pick from to put in a squad, so it's not like the people who don't get in the starting 11 will definitely be on the bench either. It's mental, that. It is. It's absolutely crazy. Apparently, Barcelona won 45 million for Rafinha. Got to be worth it.
If it was just the price of the player alone, yes, but he's on a ridiculous wage as well. So, is he? I don't know.
I think that's what's putting Newcastle off. Is if he was on a decent, when I say a decent wage, I mean a competitive wage for Newcastle, I think they'd go for him, given the transfer fee. But the fee plus the wages he wants, I think rules him out of coming to Newcastle. But you never know. Looney Tune says, I'm looking at the end. I'm looking at the 10 from last season. Eddie plays Trippier over Tino, and Tino only gets game time when Trips is injured. Eddie is stuck in his ways. I would be surprised if Hall starts over Burn.
Well,
he's got to. He's got to.
Given the form that Hall showed at the end of last season and pre-season this year, there's no way in God's earth Burn starts ahead of Lewis Hall. No way.
Yeah. Status says, if Paul can learn, anyone can. Get back to work, you lazy kid. NUFC Ollie says, are you going to sell a cup games? I haven't got my ticket yet, to be honest. I was waiting to see what happened with all these stuff that's going on outside of football. But, there's still tickets left. I mean, it's a digital ticket, isn't it? So you buy it and you just download it straight away. So I'm not worried about that side of things. But I do want to go, but I'll make my mind up this afternoon, to be honest. If not, Stato is going. So Stato will be our reporter on the ground, and me and Billy will do the commentary. So not to worry. Tyrrell from Gunner TV. Big up, boys. All right, Tyrrell, hope you're well, buddy. Nice to see you in the chat. Ross says, what do you think is happening with Jamal Lewis this season? Keep, sell, or loan? Does he deserve a full opportunity with Howe? See if he can be worked on. I don't think he's got a future at Newcastle, Billy. I know he did well. He's done reasonably well when he's come on in the pre-season, but I don't see a place for Jamal Lewis. I think he had his opportunity and that time's probably passed.
I think he'll get some games on this weekend. I would hope he will anyway, given he didn't get any in Japan, to be honest. We shall see. We shall see. I think he's worth a little bit of a chance, if I'm perfectly honest.
Really?
Given how he performed in pre-season, yeah, he looked pretty good in the game I saw against Hull. Very good, in fact.
I mean, he listen, the potential was there, wasn't it? Because I remember going to Anfield and watching him I think he played the first 20 minutes or so and was absolutely fantastic, bombing down the left, and then he pulled his hammy, so had to come off. But he looked really good then. But since he's had that injury, it's just not gone well for him at Newcastle. GR says, apparently a plane's coming into Newcastle today from Karlsruhe in Germany, the home of Unique Sports Group, Gay's agent.
Also Gordon's agent. So maybe it's nothing to do with Gay.
It could be Gordon's new contract.
Could be.
And that's all we're talking about Anthony Gordon, Billy. That's the only reason they're coming in.
What else would there be?
Exactly. JT Toon says, hate to sound negative, but I'm getting tad worried about the right wing situation now. Squeaky bum time. We need more than Miggy. Well, we've got Murphy, but I see your point. I agree with your point, actually. It's a slow burner, but let's just hope that the guys, the hierarchy, know what they're doing and things will happen in time. Stato's asking who's coming for a beverage tomorrow before the match. Just Alex could be anywhere, to be honest. He just walks into random pubs. We'll see. Kyle says pre-season for Lewis is the shop window, just showing other teams what they could have.
Potentially.
Albert, top show lads, keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Thank you. Stephen, good morning.
I'll keep Lewis ahead of Matt Target. I've got to be honest.
Yeah,
he's more reliable than Matt Target.
Yeah, Matt Target's just disappeared into the wilderness now, hasn't he?
We can't sell Matt Target. We can't sell Jamal Lewis, to be honest.
Yeah. Morning, guys. Says Stephen. Still getting over the Kubo one the other night. Sam and Alex's reaction was priceless. I hope Ox gets on and scores. That will set him and might convince supporters. It's Oz, not Ox, Stephen. Oz. Jimmy says Murphy is playing well on that right. I see a big season for the lad. Ruffiad Benisian says that plane could be a right winger coming in. Well, we'll see in time. Anyway, moving back to this morning in the press conference, Billy, this man is now part of the leadership group.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Brilliant news. And Bruno's actually over the moon with it, obviously. You can understand that. You said there was questions asked last season about if Bruno could actually skip at the side. Would he have the discipline to be captain or not? It's clear that he wants to be in that leadership group. He's very proud to be part of that. I'm just trying to get what he said about it. He said that I want to be a leader and I want to help the club. Certainly not kind of information from a player that wants to leave, Billy. He clearly loves the club.
Do you know what? I think this is all. I'm not sure Eddie Howe had him in mind for a leadership role or even the squad, but those 9 games where he had to go without getting a yellow card, otherwise he'd been banned.
And then incredible,
so short. Yeah. The discipline he showed then kind of made you think, well, why didn't he do that before? To be perfectly honest, but
yeah,
the lad's just inspirational. And I
don't think we want to take that out of his game, though, do we?
No.
He was asked as well about leaving the club, and this will give fans a real buzz. I smiled when I saw it. He says, I have never said I would like to leave. I want to put my name in the club's history, and that hasn't changed. I want to be in the Champions League again. I want to win something with this club. This is my dream.
Well, ever since the first game against Everton, that's what he said. I want to be part of this club's history, and I want to write my name deep into the annals of Newcastle United's history. So he's still got that ambition. We've all got it with him, and we love him because of that. He's a fantastic footballer with his heart in the right place, mainly as well. Just all round fantastic.
Well, you know what? There was all these rumours going around in the summer, Billy, about would he leave? Would he go to PSG? Would he go to Manchester City? Nothing was ever concrete, was it? Arsenal had a little bit of a look in as well, but nothing ever came to fruition. It was all very, very quiet. There was just paper rumours. There was no official bids came in, and maybe actually somebody turned around in the summer and did inquire to Bruno, and Bruno says, I don't want to. And once the release clause ended, teams then thought, oh, we'll come in and get him for cheaper. But Bruno has obviously said, I want to stay, because that's why there's been no official bids for him. Because if he wanted out, then he would go. And it's quite clear to me, he's not going to sit in front of the cameras today and say exactly the same thing that he said when he joined the club, that he wants to be a legend here. He wants to win things. He wants to be in the Champions League with Newcastle United. And I think that will shut the rest of the Premier League fans up who thought, yes, we'll get Bruno.
The point of the matter is when he went away after the end of last season to his Copa America stuff and all that, Bruno wouldn't have known if he was going to be here this season. He wanted to be, but the club may have had to have sold him, which I guess every player that left after last season maybe had that in their mind. We've heard
Sean Longstaff confirmed that. Yeah.
So, Bruno to go would have cleared it all in one foul swoop. And the last thing we wanted was Bruno or Isak or some of that nature to leave the club. But it could have happened. And I guess, Bruno would have gone then. But the fact is, Eddie Howe put his foot down. Sad anyone, but not Bruno, not Isak.
But doesn't it just make you smile when you see Bruno actually saying it to the cameras, rather than just a report in a newspaper? And, we're just thinking, oh, God, is he staying? Is he not? But then you see it actually coming out his mouth that he's again very, very happy. It's just brilliant. Divine Bullies UK says, hi, Paul and Billy. Hope you're all well. Have you thought when Newcastle go quiet, it's normally something good? I believe we'll get an amazing talent in on the right. Hashtag Kubo. Don't tease me. Yeah, I do actually agree with that. We've seen that in the past, haven't we? When Newcastle United go quiet, there's not, on the transfer front, and then suddenly bang. They like working things behind the scenes before they announce anything, and they normally keep it very close to the chest as well, especially if it's a big signing.
This is it. Everything is close to the chest. Everything is in-house and isn't leaked. Excuse me.
Every time I hear your text message alert go off, I want to do a kung fu kick. I just think of Bruce Lee, but we'll not go there. Carry on.
Absolutely not. And so, I mean, it kind of makes all his ITK stuff even more ridiculous, really. But
yeah.
I'm still optimistic about the window. I think we're going to bring in a top quality centre half and probably a top quality right winger too. If that was to happen, to me, it's a 10 out of 10 window. We've kept Bruno, we've kept Isak. And we've brought in the place where we need a striker, a third choice striker, a top quality right winger, and a top quality centre half. Yeah, all we wanted all along.
I'm absolutely delighted, me, and obviously when I saw that, and Bruno coming out and saying that, it just sets minds at rest. You know where his head is at right now. His head isn't turned. He's not focusing on anything else. He is 100% focused on Newcastle United. And the fact that he's now part of the leadership group, I think, is a massive boost for Bruno himself. I think Joe Linton will be included in that in the future as well. Certainly when the likes of Wilson, etc., move on. But at the moment, he is very much part of that leadership group, and rightly so, because he is a leader. You can see on the pitch, he leads by example, 99.9% of the time. Yes, he'll have an off day from time to time, but who doesn't? But he's just an incredible midfielder. And I did see somebody put a poll up on Twitter, I think it was yesterday, Billy, saying what you've said for quite some time and asking the question, is Bruno the best midfielder that we have seen at Newcastle? And I think it was a whopping 78% said yes.
I've said it since about the third or fourth game.
You have, to be fair. So it's great news this morning on Bruno. Absolutely fantastic. Now, Eddie Howe was asked about Kieran Trippier. Very interesting comments made about Trippier. He said Kieran is not actively looking to leave and seems very focused. Eddie said that he wants him to stay, but also he said there's also a possibility that players, including Kieran Trippier, could still leave due to FFP PSR reasons. It's still hanging its ugly head around, Billy.
Well, yeah, they've got to prepare for the end of the season, haven't they? Which when it all starts again. Because it's rolling 3 years, isn't it? So this year then becomes 3 years ago, etc., etc. It's all very cloak and dagger for me about Trips, because he's kind of said things that you can kind of think, well, is he telling the truth there? He seems to be kind of, it seems, that word seems, and then he said
seems.
He may, Trippier may have to leave because of PSR. And of course he wants to keep you. He's not going to say anything different, is he? So no, I don't think we're any the wiser regarding Kieran Trippier, if I'm perfectly honest.
I mean, Billy, if let's ask the question: if a bid for Kieran Trippier came in of around 10 million, would you be tempted?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it would be. Yeah, he's only got a year after this on his contract, isn't he? So yeah, I think it would be.
Well, he has. Yeah, I mean, it's
33, 34. Definitely over the top as far as his career goes, because he's been a bit of a decline the past, let's say, 12 months. So yes,
I think those comments from Eddie, Billy, are just leaving that door ajar.
Of course they are.
For Kieran to leave. I still
apparently there's interest from West Ham United, isn't there? So
yeah, and there's still there's still interest in Saudi as well. I mean, let's not forget them. So I don't know. I mean, look, for me, I think. Maybe Kieran Trippier does want a new start. This is just as a fan, by the way. I have no idea, and I'll never claim to have an idea. But we've heard so many rumors about what's going on in his private life, which again we're not privy to, and it's nothing to do with us. But if that is the case and he wants a new start, then it could be an opportunity with West Ham. But again, we've got 3 weeks of the window left now, and anything can happen in those 3 weeks. I know the Premier League kicks off, a week tomorrow, believe it or not, Friday night, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, but the window will stay open for that a couple of weeks longer. So I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those that I think Alex summed it up last night, Billy, on the show, just saying, are we going to be devastated if he leaves? Probably not, because we know what's coming through, who we've got there. But then we're missing out on his experience and his leadership.
It will leave a big hole in the squad, but is he going to be starting? I don't think so. Personally. I think a safe and secure defence has Tino Livramento in it.
Mm-hmm.
Does Kieran Trippier offer us more going forward? Possibly. Set pieces, such like. But for me, I think Tino Livramento should be first choice. Whether he's Eddie Howe's, Lord alone only knows.
David says, given what we paid for Trippier and the service he has given us, I think he goes with his head held very high. I can see him going personally. Yeah, look, there's no animosity between the Newcastle fans and Kieran Trippier. I think Kieran Trippier, will always have a special place in our hearts because, for the reason when he came to the club, we were down and out. We were going down. He took a pay cut to come to Newcastle from Atletico Madrid, a massive club in Spain, and it brought a bit of, a lot of experience. He had a cool head on him and a brilliant captain as well. And great off the field. And you don't get that whole package a lot with a lot of players. So Kieran came in, one of the first signings, settled everything down, and was a big part of the reason that we made a charge up the table that season, and of course then made the Champions League the season after. So
yeah, 100%.
He goes absolutely with his head held high. If he did leave, I
do think the Bruno being moved into the leadership group does kind of make you think, is one of them going to be leaving soon?
Yeah, it does ask the question.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he went, and I wouldn't be surprised if he stays. I've got to be honest.
Yep. Well, we'll see in due course on that one. Now, Newcastle United have released a statement this morning regarding the Seller Cup, Billy. I'm just getting it up on the screen now. This is an interesting statement. Following recent scenes of violent disorder across the country, Newcastle United can provide an update to supporters in relation to arrangements for the forthcoming Seller Weekender at St James's Park. So I'll just read through it, Billy. So basically, the safety and security of supporters, staff, and everyone who engages with the club is of paramount importance, and the club's usual comprehensive match day planning is in place in readiness for 3 fixtures across Friday and Saturday. The club is continuing to work closely with its independent safety advisory group and key stakeholders, including Northumbria Police and local authorities, ensuring we are fully prepared to welcome fans to the stadium. Following reports of planned protest on Saturday, the club has been assured that the mitigation measures are in place to ensure everyone can enjoy the city and the Seller Weekender safely. So then it just goes on to tell about the planning for match day, that there will be a police presence there. Nexus will continue to provide updates on the city's transport, and supporters are encouraged to plan their journey to and from St James's Park early, and obviously contact Nexus for the latest information. This is a lovely thing. Welcoming inclusive United as one, Billy. Football is for all, and Newcastle United is for all. As the Premier League's first football club of sanctuary, we have a responsibility and commitment to being a power for good in our communities and to uphold positive values that make our region so special. The Seller Weekender will include players, supporters, and officials from around the world uniting to participate in a spectacular event that is open to all. This is who we are as a city, region, and a club. Welcoming, inclusive, and united as one. Our staff will be on hand to ensure everyone visiting St James's has a safe and enjoyable experience. We would like to take this opportunity to remind all supporters that we have a zero-tolerance approach towards discrimination and abuse of any kind, whether directed at players, coaches, fellow supporters, or our employees. And then it goes on to tell the fans how to report abuse inside the ground or to report a crime. It's a very full statement, Billy, but a very good one to reassure anybody going to the Seller Cup.
Well, I think there had to be forensic with it. I think there had to be, cover every angle. That's a fantastic statement. It really is. And it goes on to what happened last night in the city, which was nothing short of inspirational, I've got to say. And if that kind of attitude happens on Saturday, the people won't even turn up. And if they do, they'll get short shrift, won't they? So
I think the message was loud and clear last night. To be honest, that we don't want them in Newcastle. We don't want the idiots coming in and causing trouble. Newcastle United fans and the city of Newcastle don't want any of it. Don't want a part of it. I think that message was loud and clear with the way everybody stood loud and proud last night. And it was just fabulous, wasn't it? Because you see so much hate going on around the rest of the country. But everybody came together in Newcastle last night. All religions, colour, creed, whatever you like, they all came together as one. And that's how it should be. That's exactly how it should be.
And it wasn't just Newcastle, to be fair. It was, lots of places around the country.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's quite, gets you there, I've got to say.
Well, Ian says, tell the staff to stop discrimination against folk with disabilities, Paul. Look, I think the Disability Supporters Trust put something out a couple of days ago regarding all this information that the disabled people have been asked to get from doctors and having to, pay for things and stuff like that. I think, to be fair to Newcastle United, they've asked each individual to contact them. And they will work out the best option for that individual at the time. So it's just a case of contacting the Disability Supporters box office, and they will go through it with you. And hopefully some have actually just been told that the proof that the club have already got is good enough, i.e. For the personal independence payment stuff. Proof of that has been good enough for some fans. Look, there's no doubt about it that it did set a lot of people back. What happened with me set me back. I've since had a full apology from the football club, so we move on. And what I hope happens, Billy, is that certain instances with what happened with myself or with what's happening with getting these personal assistant tickets for the disabled fans, lessons are learned, that they learn from mistakes and things become better, because at the end of the day, that's the whole point of it. You make mistakes to make things better.
I 100% agree. It looks like the club are concentrating on getting things perfect. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy for them to do that. Mistakes have been made in the past, but if you don't make the mistakes, you're not going to learn. And I think they are definitely learning. No doubt about that. We've seen that with the website, with the shirts, even, the kit, the Adidas stuff and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been dispatched. Everything seems to be going in the right direction, I've got to say, at the minute. And I'm optimistic about the season, I've got to say. Despite what the press say, we're going that way.
Well, the press will always write us off. We know that as fans, Billy. We're too long in the tooth. We know how certainly the southern media feel about Newcastle United, and that isn't going to change, is it? That's never ever going to change. Slothy says, Osula, the big announcement to sell tickets for the Salah weekend. He might be a good player for the future, but not really strengthening the first team. Summer so far has been disappointing.
I understand that. I do understand it, but there's still a bit to go, and we seem to be kind of in for a very good centre half. I mean, there's no doubt about that. So just wait until the end of it before you can't. Yeah, at the minute I can't.
Absolutely, agree. But look, if Gay comes in and then we get a right winger, I think we've had a good window.
Yeah, 100%.
Given if you look around, there's not a lot of transfers going on. But like I said on last night's show, the financial expert was on the radio, said that we could have a very exciting final 48 hours of the transfer window. So again, we'll see what happens. And by the way, don't forget, we are doing a deadline day special again. It's a charity stream all day. We are raising money for 4 charities. So it'll be 4 charities. I'll announce them closer to the time. But we're hoping to raise over $5,000 on the day. We got 4,000. I think it was about 4,300 and something last deadline day. We want to hit the 5. I know it's a big ask for you guys out there, but it's a charity day where we stream all day. We put our efforts in, and everybody has a good laugh putting in contributions to the charity. Well, we do actually, without a doubt. It took Billy 3 months to recover from last one, but it is for 4 charities, and we hope that we can get and raise over 5,000 to split between them. So it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a fabulous day. So looking forward to deadline day. We've got a super chat in from Marky NUFC. He says, Paul and Billy, can you say hello to my mother? It says Dodgy. Well, I think that's supposed to say Dodgy, isn't it? Dodgy Diane?
Yeah, Dodgy Diane.
Great show, by the way. Diane, good morning. Hope
That's
you're well.
His mother-in-law, by the way, isn't it? Is that his mother-in-law?
I don't know. He says hello to my mother. Lol. So I don't know. I don't know. Dowsey says, well said, Billy. Lessons learned from mistakes. I'm dying to see us this season with one main focus and all the backup we brought in and up. Ali B says, I am not at all worried about transfers. Big clubs often wait till late for the best prices. We've been buying for the future, says Geordie Dan. Some great young potential. Chris says, I can see us making top 3 this season, but no pressure. Well, you've just put the pressure on. Claire says, infuriating yesterday to hear Danny Murphy flippantly say, if Liverpool go in for Gay, they get him. Oh, you can piss off. You really can. Danny Murphy annoys me. He just annoys me. I hear his dulcet tones on the radio, and I immediately want to punch him in the middle of the face.
I wonder what Alan Shearer doesn't, because they work closer together, and he doesn't seem to care what he says. If I was Alan Shearer, I'd be chilling every week. Shearer's
probably at that point now where saying, "Oh, Danny, you're talking shite again. I can't even be bothered." So there you go. Danny Murphy, like all Talk Sports Southern media, will write off Newcastle. It is going to take time for them to reassess the landscape of the EPL. Indeed. Alan says, there are reasons I boycotted TalkSport years ago. Yeah, I know. A lot of people did, to be honest. Make sure you have the spare chair available for deadline day, Paul. Well, Alexander Allard, I don't know whether he's in the chat this morning, but he is sorting me out with a new chair. I'm still waiting to hear about the delivery of it. I know it was somewhere over the sea last time I got an update, so we'll have to wait and see. But I won't be breaking any chairs this time. Fubas, is any news on the medical team? Because let's face it, we had half of the injuries and players out last season. We would have finished higher up the table. It's been all revamped. I'm sure Bunce has already gone in there and revamped everything, Billy.
100%. Yeah, that's his remit, isn't it? To make sure that we've got more availability amongst the squad, and not just about the injuries, but about preventing them in the first place, which is, half the battle, I think.
Yeah. Mark's mother is dodgy, by the way. That sounded wrong, but you know what I mean.
Anyway,
Diane, I do apologize. I'm not saying you're dodgy, but your son is. So there you go. Crazy. Right. That is it for the show this morning. Quick and cheerful, as usual, on a morning show. But that is... that is the news. Very important comments from Bruno, of course, and from Eddie Howe. The signing of Osula. Things are suddenly starting to look up a little bit as we approach the Cellar Weekender. We are back tonight at 7 o'clock. Oh, we just got a super chat in from Jimmy Barr. Hit the like and subscribe if you haven't, people. Don't forget to vote for this amazing channel on the YouTube Awards. #1, this team every day of the week. Thank you very much, Jimmy. Much appreciated. You can vote. It's still pinned at the top of the chat. And please put us in the bracket of Best Club Content Creator - Premier League. So that's Best Club Content Creator - Premier League. But we will be back at 7 o'clock tonight. We are going to have a look at the Cellar Weekender, the teams that are all involved, and see what Eddie might do to split the teams, who we might go with on night 1, and obviously game 2 as well. So lots to get through tonight. We'll also bring you any latest news that we hear from the club this afternoon, whether it be transfers or injuries, which is, I didn't mean to say injuries. That'll put people off. You know what I mean? We'll have all the latest news from Newcastle United. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for your super chats and memberships. Mods and Billy, thank you very much. But a massive thank you to all you guys for turning up in your droves yet again. And enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll see you all at 7 o'clock. See you soon.
How were the lads and lasses?
Come back and check out some green.